First of all, thank you everybody for coming. And as you know, this is the 2019 Visiting Writer event in conjunction with Arts in April at North Shore Community College. And once again, we are honored to welcome a regional poet, in this case, a slam poet. Right? And we're very, very excited to have her here. First of all, I do want to thank a few people. I want to thank the English department and the communication skills department, without whose generosity this event would not be possible. I also want to go out of my way to thank the Arts in April Committee, and particularly Dean Andrea DeFusco-Sullivan, who provided some of the free prizes, and Terry Whitney, who contributed mightily to the event and also contributed many of the prizes. I want to thanks to all of those people. In fact, let's give a round of applause for all of the support that we received. Our visiting writer this year is nationally acclaimed. She is Roxbury-born. She is a slam poet, hip-hop artist, and self-described hood, queer, black, womanist, orphan, sister, friend, and teacher. She is the winner of the 2017 Woman of the World Poetry Slam and a finalist at the 2017 National Poetry Slam. She has been featured in many magazines, including the Huffington Post and DigBoston. She has appeared at so many colleges and universities, I can't list them all, but they do include Boston College, Boston University, and the Berklee School of Music. She's one of the best slam poets in the entire country. Her name is Oompa. Let's give a round of applause.
That was a very, very kind thing to say. No pressure at all. How y'all doing? Word. I just want to say thank you to North Shore for having me. I was in Lynn yesterday and I'm here today, and it's just beautiful energy. So I'm grateful for everyone who made this happen and for all the energy you're contributing right now. I am hella nervous, period. Okay, great. I'm going to do a couple of songs, and I'm also going to do some poems. I like to think that they're not very different at all, but I think that the approach sometimes, or the reason for writing, can be a little different, or the cultural implications can be a little different, but I think they come from me, and they come from the same place in my body. And so with that being said, I'm going to start with a really controversial one. Great, because that's my style, all right? No, this one is called Catch-22, and it's about my experience in undergrad being a black and queer person on campus, and how, I just knew that I wasn't welcome there, but I just had to make it back home. I just had to make it happen. It sounds a little more harsh than it is, but here we go. I think the blacker the berry, the stranger the fruit is, the bloody the body, the sweeter the bruise gets, the tighter the chains, man, the wider the noose, and they wantin' the juice, but they scared of them roots. Now you lay down with them thieves, you might wake up gone. Don't wanna sleep till I'm a beast and I can wake up God. I'm tired of chefing up dog food in the wrong hood, but that blue visa, y'all, it only stretched so far. And man, that heat cut off, and I ain't got no real dependence, just a couple kin hitters depending on me for living. Uncle Sam wanna know how we survived this long, like how we could afford to keep them sprint lines on, like you don't see that track record. These bloodlines strong, like these foreheads. We go get in, we risk lives forward, y'all. Me and my sisters, we like Cleo and them. I'm talking about set it off, not the mind reader and shit, but shit, we could probably sell you that dream too. Ain't no scheme out there I don't think we ain't think through, a thing we ain't been through, that it only made us stronger. I'm still working on my demons though, I know what I be harboring. I know when I was starving, they were all up in my room like Drake and Marvin them. Had to palm my soul to keep my soul from off the market, and there was college. I thought my whole life was gonna change. It just gave me double consciousness. I never sleep the same. So I ain't say I get no peace of mind. I don't even get no sleep at night. The devil's trying to take my soul. He got me chained up in this game of tug of war. It'll be alright. It's gonna be hell. Worst case scenario, you mess it up and fail. It'll be alright. It'll be, I know. Right now, I just need for you to make it home. I thought about quitting, like, man, cut it all. Came from the bottom, worked at it this long. I dug into it, claws, and now sister still locked by them laws, and the N-word still just the N-word to y'all. Still pushing brick walls. Only difference ain't no pissing them halls in the quarter mil to build my fitting with y'all. I still stuck out like a sore thumb. Look like that's what made them all woo. I could afford, man, you can't feel that heat. I got anger festering and I ain't made in a year. What you charge per semester, so what you expect? I gave up my respect for an expensive door deck and a couple lessons that I'll never forget. Like, they don't really like you. In fact, they about to despise you, but they feel you like a god when they standing right beside you. Want you to answer to them unless you do a dance for them. Pose for a picture, shaking hands with the mans on it. What I'm supposed to say to my kids? I tell them chase after dreams like mom paying the bills. I tell them do like plant seeds, but have a plan B into that horse pill. Keep your plants in this game, you gotta be strategic. One false move and it's back to white Jesus. Everybody wanna be us. That's it, except when it's time to free us. I put that on my shoulders cause you know how much you need us. I said, I ain't say I get no peace of mind. I don't even get no sleep at night. The devil's trying to take my soul. He got me chained up in this game of tug of war. It'll be alright, it's gonna be hell. Worst case scenario, you mess it up and fail. It'll be alright, it'll be, I know. Right now, I just need for you to make it home. The blacker the berry, the stranger the fruit is, the bloody the body, the sweeter the bruise gets, the tighter the chains, and the wider the noose. Many wanting the juice, but they scared of them roots, cause the blacker the berry, the stranger the fruit is, bloody the body, the sweeter the bruise gets, the tighter the chains, the wider the noose. And they wanting the juice, but they scared of them roots, right? Thank you. So I like doing that one on college campuses first because it sounds like I'm saying I don't respect college, and that's not true. I think what I'm saying is that no matter what you choose in your life, I think you have to give yourself value and worth, because if you place your value and worth on something outside of you, then you depend on that thing to say you are somebody and you're worth something. And I just think that that's not true. And I think I did that. I made the mistake of being like, well, I'm a valid human if I go to school. I'm a valid human, versus being like, I go to school because it provides resources and it provides me a path to a life that I want, instead of it being like, now I'm a valid human. I've been a valid human, B. I'm out here breathing air like everybody else, right? So anyways, yeah, speaking of being at school, I had one of my best friends, his name is Omar. And Omar was the kid that reminded me the most of home. And he was the only kid that reminded me of home. He was like from right up the street from where I'm from. And we just always were the two, like we would be ashamed of not having enough of something. But like together, we like made up for what we didn't have together. And one of those ways we did that was, so how many of you, if you look at me, does it scream basketball for you? Whatever, don't do me like that. No, but the truth is that I got my name because I used to play ball and I was actually decent. And so one of the people that made me great was not the teams I was on, but it was Omar, because we would like walk up to the basketball court and there would be these kids out there and they wanted to play for money. And so, he would practice with me day in, day out, because that's how we would make our money is he'll walk up and he'll be like, you guys want to play? I got her and, whoever else. And they'll be like, yeah, like put the money on the ground and that's the game. And he's like, oh, I guess we could. And I'm just like, all right. I missed like the first 5 shots or whatever. And I'm like, oh man, I'm so sorry. Oh, and then he's just like, you ready? I'm like, yeah, let's do it. And then like we would go off and then that's how we would eat. When we were on campus in the summer, we didn't have money. We didn't have jobs or whatever. Like, well, we did have jobs, but you get paid every 2 weeks. And so this is how we ate. A lot of the times we just balled up until the sneakers, like the sole of our sneakers were ripped off, and that's how we did it. And so I wrote a poem about in that moment. He says, grab fake and then push it through. Certain he wants to bet it all on me. I can't yet shake any defender or outjump a rebounder, but I think he sees promise or knows that if we're gonna eat, I better work for mines too. I mess it up a few thousand times before O puts his first crumpled $20 bill on the ground to start the game with me in it. He doesn't know that he always wins the game single-handedly. I just dap him back when he tells me something about my dusty jump shot making it. Now we're sprawled in twin beds and covered in salt and blood, and the mother's prayer somewhere delivers us a dream where the games are hard, but just games. There are no meals waiting at each end of them. The tuition is paid, the rent too, the refund check sizable enough to send home something worth opening the mail for. The sneakers are not riddled with empty, but we cannot rush to open it for another semester or 3 when it will finally arrive from over 300 miles away in the projects where prayers take more time and bureaucracy and will come loose and travel. In the meantime, we're just trying to fall asleep, our bodies writhing with angst. We have a victory we don't know what to do with or if we believe it is ours to keep. But right now, it makes us a fountain of laughter and memories we pour back into each other with how that boy got under O mid-flight, at the way he was mad and had that we had the nerve to call a foul after watching O's chin basketball off the blacktop because it meant the game was not over. We hollered till our breath was a tire streak and our head wilted from the weight of joy. O and I had a way of making the pain that white boys imposed on us feel like just a busted lip. Just a trophy when the Wendy's was eaten. A part of this game of Adidas and Asics where the hardest part of winning was making it look hard. And each night, even if we lose the souls, we eat. Thank you. So I got this other one. I remember the first time I realized I was poor, I was like, oh shit. I was like, oh, that's what this is. I was like, not everybody has plastic on the couches. Okay. Not everybody eats ramen noodles for dinner. Great. I was just like, this is crazy. And you know how I realized it was, I was in my freshman hall, and this girl on the track team came up to me and said, hey, yo, the track team's having a ghetto party. Do you have anything I could use, any bling? And it's like 2009, y'all, so bling ain't even in. So I'm like, you're just really like doubly disrespectful, okay? And she's like, do you have any bling or like the do-rag thing that you, and I'm just like, I was like, yo, do I get to go to this party? And it turns out I didn't get to go to the party, but I also just was like, I feel like I didn't have a language for it, but I just knew that this was not okay. And then I also knew it wasn't okay because the two kids who were on scholarship on the track team who lived next door to me weren't invited to the track team party. So I was like, okay, this is like malicious and whatever. Also, just a disclaimer, I am a sad girl poet, okay? I know. Anyways, I know you're probably thinking, and I'm just like, no, it's not gonna happen. No, it will happen. I'll take you up after. But anyhow, this poem is called, so I realized that, and then I went home for fall break, and I was like, oh, okay, so this is real. Like our family is actually poor. And I had shame around that for a little bit, and then I was like, you know what? Anyhow. On the day I leave for college for the first time to visit home, I have known for 2 days that my family is poor. On Wednesday, the track team threw its annual ghetto party, and of us, myself and the only 2 black boys on the track team, my do-rag was the only thing invited. The girl in my hall has put out a call for ghetto contraband and other bling, and I have been voted most likely to liven up the gathering. This time, I'm not required to have rhythm or unruly hair to museum. They have seen a part of me I didn't know was a part of me, and it feels sloppy and ugly and stupid, and they want to make a parade of it. Perhaps this is the welcome I've been dying for since the scholarship reception. Today, the eyes will see me off and onto the Susquehanna Trailway bus, and I will catch them climbing to their parents' show cars. I have a new language for the neck bones and the collard greens, for the school photos and tarnished wire frames, the ever untouched china in the cabinet that my mother is preserving for the kind of person that never visits this part of town where there are no cameras, but is ready in case they choose this house. And it makes me consider trading in all of my sister's dolls in for books that smart people read, or my shoes for a small business I'll mismanage, a modest pair of Sperry's in their stead. I want to wear them in the family photos so people know what kind of people we are when they walk into our tiny project home. I want it to take up so much space, the photo is the reason the wall seems small. I want to be the kind of people who take family photos and send Christmas cards to other family members. I want to have a family I don't have to explain. Mostly, I don't know how to break the news to my mother. Or if it is a curse she has kept under her tongue with the body of Christ so long it has melted into her teeth, and God and miracles are the only things she can speak about in place of the unpaid bills. When I pull up to the complex, the signs are plenty. The empty bottles greet me first, places that fill them second, the dirt and oil fingerprints climbing the white wall with me, the red leather couch, the noodle box on top of the fridge, the trash bin not underneath the sink cupboard, my sister halfway through removing her box braids on the love seat, my mother picking something from her feet and sorting the laundry on the living room floor. She watches my eyes, gets up and hushes them with a kiss, says, welcome home, baby. There's a place you belong and it wants you here, to hold you like a hammock. It wants you to put down your language you have been squeezing onto so tight your hands are bloody. Today we have enough and dinner is hot, the roof is intact, and all of them are waiting for you to love them back. I'll get the gauze. Just eat. Thank you. Yeah, so, okay, another sign that I realized was a sign was, this is a side story, was that, yo, people put their trash bins in the cabinet under the sink. I was like, whoa, that's crazy. I don't know. I know it's not a big deal, but like coming from the projects that like all the cabinets are small, like ain't no trash bin going in there. It just sits on the side somewhere. So when I saw that, I was like, whoa, mind blown. Anyhow, this next poem is called Space-Time Continuum, and it is a poem about me being fearful of being passed down. So the trigger warning for mental health, and trigger warning for intergenerational trauma. So if you feel like you need to leave and take space from that, then that's totally fine. I just want to give you that space and time. But yeah, this is about my fear of being passed down, my mother's mental health, or just like burning at large. So here it is. Oh, and how it came to be was I got this prompt from, there was a competition I was doing, and there was this prompt, and it was like space-time continuum. And I'm like, I don't know what to write about the space-time continuum. And so I started to learn a little bit about black holes, and I was like, oh, here we are. When a massive star gives all of its fuel to surviving and runs dry, it'll collapse in upon itself, and a black hole will form. The collapse will cause an exploding star or a supernova, and parts of that star will be blasted into space. However, the gravity of a black hole is so strong they say nothing, not even light can escape it. Before I knew who she was, the city told me stories of my mother, of her days on stages like this one, how the hood lined up to see her perform, said she was destined to be a star. And those stories always end with, and then she went dark, and then something went wrong. Said she had her first child in the middle of her first breakdown and hasn't stopped having either since. They was like life didn't deal her cards fairly, like an epitaph across her body. My mother is a black hole now. Inside a black hole, time is measured in the distance that something travels from a sentence. When you're looking at from inside it, you don't know if you're looking at the future or the past. Like 23 years ago, my little sister was a fetus. My birth mother, a not-so-recovered drug addict with the help of her boyfriend, robbed a gas station at gunpoint and then fled. Last week, my little sister, 23 now, received a call from police. My birth mother was arrested high for the 23-year-old robbery, and it's hard to know if we're looking at the future or the past, or if that light ever traveled at all. I fear the day I was strayed too far from where I was born, and just when I think myself a supernova, her gravity will render me missing, come back to find me, shove me into the dark of her inescapable body. She will call her gravity love. I will feel it a casket. I will have to remember that this is just how black holes love, y'all, and I swear, I know she loves us. My second oldest sister knew it too. She ran away from home. Immediately after the first call we ever got from our birth mother to visit. I wonder what she learned on that visit. Must be the way they have the same laugh, or choice in men, or that they're always running from what will catch up to them. We caught up. My sister passed in the hands of her not-so-recovered boyfriend. She was high and pregnant. My sister is a black hole now, or stuck in one. Either way, ain't no light coming from her no more. And perhaps this is the reason why my birth mother leaves the two newest children in the custody of us two surviving ones. It's because she knows astrophysics in a way college would never teach her, and knows when she loves something, the only way she can love something, she is liable to crush it, even if all she wants to do is mother it. So it's not that I'm not grateful to be alive and alive in this world when everyone said I wouldn't be. It's just that you know what they say. The light don't fall too far from the black hole, and neither of us have even traveled far enough to even know if that's true or not. I swear most days, my head be in the stars. Even when my body won't get out of bed, I think my body's so afraid it's going to inherit her epitaph, it won't even try. And you can't call what ain't tried a failure, can't pronounce what ain't lived dead. And this future be reaching so far back to our past is holding hands with our future, and ain't this the space-time continuum? The way time changes inside a black hole. If I'm cursed with a series of laps that are in me and the darkness I was born in, can I just take my time, birth mom? Today the sun is shining, even if you can't reach it right now or anymore. Even if it won't let you love it back, and ain't the sun the greatest thing you ever gave this galaxy? Ain't that enough to just let it live, to let it go? Thank you. Woo. Okay, I'm gonna take you up now. I'm sorry about that. Ooh, okay, all right. Sometimes I feel that poem and I'm like, yeah, I'm over it. And sometimes I feel that poem I'm like, damn, okay. Anyhow, so any 90s babies in the room? Word, okay. Because every time I go somewhere now, I'm like, any 90s babies in the room? It's like 4 of us. And we gotta ride together, okay? Any hip hop fans in the room? Word, even less, but that's great. Okay, so some of y'all might remember this song that goes, back in the days when I was young, I'm not a kid anymore, but some days, hey, I sit and wish I was a kid again. Y'all remember that? Cool, even if you don't, right, what the last group did is, that's fine, just hum it, okay? Like, just get the melody and we're good, okay? So, you could take me back in the days when I was young, I'm not a kid anymore, but some days I sit and wish I was. Back in the days when I was young, I'm not a kid anymore, but some days I sit and wish I was. You could take me back in the days when I was, don't be shy, I'm your auntie for the evening. But some days I sit and wish I was a kid again. Back in the days when I was young, I'm not a kid anymore. I'm not a kid anymore. Hey, good Lord, hey, good Lord. I'm every woman like Chaka say. I know my mom's gonna see her day despite that itch that doc be saying. And I know that I'm gonna be okay. I know that I'm gonna be so paid. The drummer want me DOA, but not today. And I should shower. I should probably do a lot instead. I grab a wide bottle and pour Tito's to the top of it. Then pour some liquor for my hitters, take a swig and brush my teeth with my middle finger. Holler it up to Jay. I kiss a picture of my sister, watch my future wash away, watch my sorrows fade to gray. Maybe it's worth it. Philipton Burton with this bourbon, kind of sleepy, kind of hollow. I tried today, I'm hurting, man. Let's try again tomorrow. We could take another crack at it. I'm just trying to take my time. Life's a game of backgammon. It's just a roll of dice. I hope my number's high. I hope it's prime. Only thing that can divide us is itself, and not today. I'm worried about you. Back in the days when I was young, I'm not a kid anymore. Back in the days, I'm not a kid anymore. But some days I sit and wish I was. You can take me back in the days when I was young, I'm not a kid anymore. Some days I sit and wish I was a kid again. Back in the days when I was young, I'm not a kid anymore. I'm not a kid anymore. Y'all, I'm trying not to focus on the negativity. Ain't had a job in months and ever source of steady billing me. Kids are gonna be Sally Mae's kids till infinity. New age ganja got me think these knocks be plotting killing me. My friends ain't feeling me. They say you moving funny. Oompa, I say I don't. You say I do. Tell the truth, it ain't intentionally. This life just got me sick, yo. I'm trying to find a pot to piss on. I traded all like Pokemon cards for wall phones and Pimpos, Nintendo, and Tommy Pickles, cousin Skeeter, Penny Winslow's. Me and Nikki Endo sitting in the window. I don't smoke no more, cause anxiousness be taking over me. Take me to before the pressure had me by the ovaries, before it started crushing on me like a Mr. Ogilvy. Seeing Missy E and Andre 3 up on the TV screen, ain't get too many mentors. If they see me today, wasted like my potential, Lord, I wonder what they say. They tell me back in the days when I was young, I'm not a kid anymore. But some days I sit and wish I was a kid again. Back in the days when I was young, I'm not a kid anymore. But some days I sit and wish I was. You could take me back in the days when I was young, I'm not a kid anymore. But some days I sit and wish I was a kid again. Back in the days when I was young, I'm not a kid anymore. I'm not a kid anymore. But good Lord, but good Lord. Thank you. So I'm gonna maybe end on this poem. I think that's good timing. And let me tell you a little bit about this poem once I find this poem. Okay, got it. So I did this competition in 2017, it's an international competition called Women of the World Poetry Slam. And I was just like, really excited just to be there in a space. You know, like sometimes, like especially as feminine people or women or whatever, we just like excited that somebody thought that we were worth the space, as opposed to being like, I deserve to be here, you know, like that's kind of cool. But because it was like this like all women's event, people kept reminding me of the fact that, yo, you should be here. And I was like, cool, great, I don't know. So I like prepared enough to do as many poems as I thought I would have to do. So like through prelims, and then I had maybe a semi set ready, but I was like, I'm not going to finals. I'm just here to enjoy myself and have some fun. And so I was out getting drinks or something like that, and somebody texted me like, congratulations on finals. I was like, no, I don't have enough poems for that. Like that's not the case. And they were like, no, you made it to finals. And I was like, oh shoot, like I don't have nothing my first thought was I don't have nothing to wear, okay? Like I'm not ready. And so my friend got me dressed, but that morning I wrote a poem in the lobby because I was like, why do I feel like why was I so unprepared? And I was just like, oh, because like nobody wants to listen to a person like me speak about like stuff. So like why would and so I had to like break that. But one of the first things that I did was like wrote this poem, and I don't even know if it's a poem, but I kept it as it is. I haven't touched it, and I'll read it for you to close out, and then I'll open up for some questions if you have them. It's called Black Dyke Girl from the Projects, so you're gonna hear that a lot. May I have some water, actually? A little thirsty. Oh, that's okay, thank you. How y'all feeling? Good? Okay. Good or great? Great. Okay. Trust me, you look as good as you feel. Black Dyke Girl from the Projects is this slam poem, conceived and considered last minute, last on the court, first in the trial, last in the food chain of literature, written last night before she's given the honor to spill herself to a crowd of strangers to survive in a competition where the hungry love her like family and don't want to eat her alive but have to and will to survive like family, where she lays herself out naked for the world, for them to find her errors and edit them pretty, where the world spits back her highs and lows and only keeps of her what is useful. Black Dyke Girl from the Projects been loud since she knew that was the only way to stay safe. She used her mouth as a siren or a silo now. Stay firing first and apologizing later. Black Dyke Girl full of apologies. Black Dyke Girl from the Projects is an apology for being on the wrong side of a department store, for being on the wrong side of white, a bed, of the poverty line, for taking up too much space, for having too much waste. Black Dyke Girl from the Projects is a poor investment choice. Don't get invested in, get arrested trying to invest in herself. Black Dyke Girl from the Projects done ran into so many dead ends and dead bodies. She thinks she dead, and this gotta be the afterworld, because dead girls are supposed to be silent, so maybe she's in the right place. But once a Black Dyke Girl from the Project saw a god get on stage and be a poem, heard her say her language pops a pretty packed pistol every time she speak, every time she preach, her mouth is meant to blow you away. Heard a black butch woman be a poem and prophesy that a man would be wide-eyed and closed fist, ready to swing, but black butch woman stay ready for war, and they both sent me here to speak, to be loud, to do it like my life depended on it, cause it does. So Black Dyke Girl came ready to kill, ready to get free, let it leave her soul on the stage and wait for somebody to call her war a 10. And even if they don't, it is. Somebody said Black Dyke Girl from the Projects is more than a star being swallowed by a black hole. It's more than her future reaching back to her past. It's more than just making it to an 18th birthday after she visited death more times than she did her dying mother in college. Somebody said tell your story again and again and again. And somebody from Roxbury said I love you, said I'm learning, said I'm listening, I'm living. Now Black Dyke Girl from the Projects can't apologize no more, because she got that girl and the two poems who made a house out of a slam into the home I made out of this house, to the doubt that's curdled into nose in the pit of my belly. We here, tell them we here. And maybe this poem or this slam or this stage isn't the biggest thing in the world, but every stage that listens to and celebrates her survival is big to a Black Dyke Girl from the Projects. Thank you, appreciate it.
We're about to open it up to questions, but before we do that, I do want to give out a few more free gifts.
Free gifts, free gifts. Do I put my name in there, or?
I'm going to ask Oompa to do the honors once more.
I would love to.
Would you mind?
Not at all.
Thank you. This is your lucky day.
All right, coming to the stage right now. Please give it up for Jake Thomas. Yeah. That's my host voice.
Okay, and once again, this is a complimentary pass to the Peabody Essex Museum in Salem.
Got you, brother.
Let's do it again. I knocked a few. I don't want to cheat anybody. Let's make sure they're all in there.
Got you.
Mix them up nice and good. There we go.
Coming to the stage right now, everybody. Please get up for Jennifer Barrientos. Hey.
Complimentary pass to the Peabody Essex Museum.
Wow. Somebody's got to take me.
Once again.
All right.
Let's do it again.
Everybody, please start clapping right now for Rebecca Gasuski. Gasuski? Yeah. Give it up for Rebecca.
Complimentary pass.
Sorry about
Now
that.
I still have a couple more Cinema Salem, so these are the big ones. Oompa.
Oh, I'm ready.
Yeah, get ready here. This is exciting.
Please give it up for Stephanie Barros.
Stephanie? Is Stephanie here?
Hey.
Free pass to the movie, Stephanie. Enjoy. And once again,
For a
Oompa.
whole year? Are these passes for a whole year or for eternity?
For the whole year. Oh yeah. Yeah, there's actually no expiration on it, but I would use it within 1 year.
Yeah.
One more movie pass.
Make some noise for Tina Farula. Farula? Tina.
She was one of the first to show up. So
Yeah.
there you go. Okay.
Good to go?
We'll continue that later.
Sure thing.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, students, what I'd like to do is I'd like to start things off, and then we're going to open it to questions from anybody who wants to ask one. But I'm going to start here by asking Oompa. I noticed that, to me, she seems to have a very, very strong sense of self-identity. And I know that's a difficult thing in the modern world. Society puts so many expectations on us. There's a tremendous amount of social pressure to conform to those expectations, and people just love labeling other people. I'm wondering where you get that internal fortitude to resist that and to define yourself.
Yeah, I think my mother is the first place. My mother was like the strongest person I knew, and she never complained. And it's not that I don't think complaints are valuable. I think they are, but I think I never knew what she went through, and for good, bad, or indifferent. Like I think that just learning to wake up every day that you have a chance to like became really important for me first. And then I think the other thing is like, I don't know. I think my will to wake up every day is like I think the greatest gift that I ever would receive from the world, it was like learning what I wanted to do for the rest of my life. And so even when things are hard, every day I wake up with a goal in mind, and it's to achieve the thing that I want to do for the rest of my life, and to be able to do that. And so even when it's hard, and even when I don't see like a light at the end of the tunnel, like I know that I have something I love to do, and I know that like that would make my mother proud, or I just think that like knowing that I want to do something every day has been the thing that gets me out of bed every morning. And so, and also I have a life, and I've survived so much. And so in perspective, like I'm very fortunate to like not be always survive. Like at one point in life, I was only surviving, and then now I'm able to live, and I think that that's a blessing. And so I like want to be able to do that every day I get the chance to.
Is your slam poetry part of the process that you're describing?
Oh, I think so. I think like just being able to write, like, and to like recognize, like to make. So I was talking about this a little bit yesterday about how sometimes I'll do a song or a piece, and I'm like, wow, I'm still in that. Like I'm still very moved by that, and I'm still very much in that place. And I'm like, that is to me a signal, like for me, like what I need to be working on, or like what is still a trigger for me, etc. And then there's some songs that are hard that I write, and I look back on them, and I'm like, wow, I healed through that. Like I'm looking at it from the past, and it's just like that. That's an amazing feeling as well, to know that like my writing is a marker for like my journey in life, for sure.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Other questions for Oompa? Anything you want to ask her? Anything at all?
Yeah.
Lisa?
First, thank you. This has been amazing.
Oh, thank you.
But I'm very curious to know about your influences,
Mhm.
other artists, both in the area of music and poetry.
For sure. So, like currently, my favorites are like Jasmine Sullivan. I forgot about Adele yesterday, but that's my girl. But I love Kendrick Lamar, J. Cole, Chance the Rapper, Big Crit, Kanye West. I know, Kanye West. I think he has a plan, y'all. I think he has a plan. Yeah, cats like that I'm really into. I love SZA, whatever. But overall, like in my lifetime, like working my way backwards, like or forward, I like my mother was born in the 30s, so I grew up listening to like a lot of Motown, a lot of soul, a lot of funk. So like Parliament Funkadelic. My favorite of all time is Aretha Franklin. My second favorite is James Brown, then Michael Jackson, then Beyonce. Like they're all in the same conversation. But I grew up listening to like Bob Marley, stuff like that. Smokey Robinson was my guy for a long time. So like stuff like that I grew up listening to, and then I got introduced to hip hop, and then fell in love and have been in love. So those are my influences. In the poetry world, I would say I don't know, like I'm still new to poetry, but I would say Portia O is like one of my good friends, and also like one of my influences, and Janae Johnson. So I referenced both of them in that last poem. But yeah, those two. Thank you for that question. Yeah, I started writing in middle school, and I don't know why. But I thought I was a battle rapper. Like I thought that was the route. So my boy and I would write raps. So I was really intrigued by, honestly, Left Eye, and I was just like, oh, she's like this tomboy, fiery spirit, in my favorite girl band, like what's up? And so I started like looking at her lyrics, and then I would take out a word, and then I would take out a line, and then one line became 16, and then the 16 was mine, and then I would go show it to people, and then we would battle, and it was that. So that was the motivation. I don't know what the motivation was, other than to like be as badass as this woman, and so. I started there, and then I would do the same with Eve, and I realized it was all women rappers, and I'm like, okay, I guess now I'm like, okay, trend. But then I found poetry in high school, and I joke and say, all these people were screaming feelings at me. Oh my God, I love it. I need this. Also, I'm a middle child, so like, give me attention. I joke about that, and that's that's part of it. But I think I just like, I don't know, when you're young and you have to like put on in so many ways that you can't just be the vulnerable self that you become, as you get older. And I think poetry was a place for me to be vulnerable. And my mother was like real strict Southern woman. She ain't really play too many games. Like feelings and complaints, do better. Like that was her. So I think poetry helped me find a place to do some of that and to to find understanding of my world. And it's like done a lot for me since then. So thank you for your question.
Other questions? Way back there, Daniel.
Okay, first off, this was amazing.
Oh, thanks, Daniel. Thank you.
My big question is, so you have a very distinct voice. Do you have any suggestions of other artists or poets who have a similar voice that might be creative?
Like literally the timbre and the color of my voice, like the raspiness or like the perspectives.
Sort of, trying to put it into word, but sort of style.
Oh, sure. I think there are a lot of. I think my style. I don't really know what that is. Like I don't even know what my style is. But I know that the performance, like the part of the performance that is probably similar to something you could find. It's just like if you look at. Do you listen to slam poems?
Not as often as I should.
Then that's the route to go. So like I think button poetry covers a lot of poems across the country. So if you just go to YouTube and look for like button poetry and just like browse for days, like you'll find somebody that you really like. Yeah. Thanks for the question. Appreciate you, Daniel. I think you said. And somebody right here. Hi.
Thank you for everything. This is beautiful.
Oh my God. Thank you.
My questions are, was there a moment when you recognized that you had something to say, and then was there a moment when you recognized that people were listening? Like, are there specific times that you
I think I yeah, I think that the me feeling like I had something to say came from people listening. So I think that I used to go to like these open mics. I was like 15, and my friend ran an open mic that was an 18+ one, and I would just sit in the back because I wasn't supposed to be there, and I would just watch. And then finally, I just like asked her. I used my card. I said, "Look, one time, let me up here," and she let me up there. And I think as a 15-year-old, like people were listening to me say things, and I was just like, I just felt empowered by that. So I don't know, I still don't know if I have anything necessarily like, I think I have something to say, and I hope that people like it, and I hope that people listen to it, but mostly I say it, yeah, I say it for myself, but I also say it in hopes that somebody who's like experienced something I've experienced, or like is trying to make understanding of their world, and we live in similar bodies or whatever, that it makes sense to them and they can come to something. And so, yeah, I don't really know that, like, if that, not that, I don't know that I'm concerned necessarily with, like, if I have something important to say. I just, like, want to tell my story as much as possible and hope it does something for other people. And I noticed that happened for the first time when I was, like, 15, 16 at an open mic. And I was like, wow, this is one of the best feelings I've ever had. Yeah. Thank you.
Isn't that the nature of all art? I mean, it brings us together because we connect on a human level, right? Right? It doesn't separate us. It should bring us together. That's the nature of what art is. And that's what makes it so exciting.
Yeah, I think it's like family, like it's like, I think art is one of those things. It's like, this is really ugly. Get your stuff together, all right? I love you. Get your stuff together. Now come back and like, let's do this thing together. So I think it, like, for me, I like art that like is bloody or survives something. I know personally, obviously, but like something that's just like, okay, this is a truth, and it doesn't separate my love for anybody, I don't, if that makes sense. Yeah. Yeah.
Other questions over there?
Please.
I think there's like definitely power in vulnerability, and that's why like how you find the like strength to be vulnerable again to speak your truth.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
There's a place that comes from how you overcame like
I think, I don't know. I used to be really, really shy. I used to be really, really shy to the point that like I would be at house parties. I'm still shy, believe it or not. I know, crazy, right? But like I actually am really shy, and I used to be at like house parties that my mother would throw, and the only way I would dance is I would go behind the door and I would dance, and like I would do my thing and I'll come back out and stand in the corner. Like that's how shy I was, and I don't know what brought me out of it, other than I just kept messing up and I kept pushing myself to get up there and do it and mess up and mess up and mess up and mess up till I found that like I think what it was that I had to know that there was a reason for me to be here. Like like not some like universal reason necessarily, but like that I keep wanting to be here, you know, and it's like I gotta figure out what that is and that and like know that I'm worth the time and energy to be up here. And once I like settled in that some, it became a little bit easier, like a little easier. But like I was just talking to Tina before I got up here, and I was like, I gotta get ready. I'm so nervous. I'm so nervous. And so I still get nervous, but I think I just think that like I'm worth time and energy. So, yeah. Thank you for that question.
Back there, Gabby.
Word in terms of sure. I think what I say to myself every time I get nervous and I get on stage, I say, all I got is all I got. Like, I can't get nothing more than I have, and I can't, there's nothing going to be stripped away from me and what I have before I get up on this stage. If I bring to it everything I have in that moment, no matter what happens, I gave it 100%. I gave it all I had in that moment. And I think that that's going to resonate with people more than the mess ups or more than the nervousness, is that you gave it everything you had and you brought to the table, like, you know, like what you knew was worth it. And so I think that's the first thing. But when you say that, you mean in terms of like trying to like do poems more, or just like the nerve part of it? Yeah, I literally just say all I got is all I got. Like you have your story and whatever you're gonna share, and that's real for you and that's authentic. Can't nobody take that from you. Like that just is. Like I always get nervous. I'm like, oh, what if it's all too sad? And then I'm just like, well, that's all you got. You just came here with all your sad ass poems, and that's all you got. You know? So, yeah, yeah, you're welcome.
Other questions?
Oh.
Other questions? Here. Yep.
Do you think it's harder to write poems about happiness stuff,
I'm working on writing happy stuff. So I have like in my new album, there's like a lot of happy stuff because I think yeah, I know that joy for certain people is revolutionary in that it's about overcoming. Like I think joy sometimes doesn't just exist independently, but like joy exists because of something you got through or something you overcame, or you know you had to fight through something in yourself, even if it's small and temporary, to get to joy. And so I think I'm interested always in that story, like leading up to joy. So I think there will always be like part of that story, like before I'm like, hey, I'm happy, because I'm interested in that journey there more than the state of happiness. So I think that's just my personal thing. Also, the world is a weird world. I don't know. Sometimes it's just like really hard to figure, like it's just like in life, you know, your life can be so much better than it was 15 years ago or 20 minutes ago, and you're more inclined to like when that thing goes bad, to harp on that thing that went bad, then you ought to be like, yo, I lived 20 years of a good life. Or like, you know, my last hour was amazing. Like now 15 minutes just held me up. And so I think that as a human species, we're just like inclined to think about those things. But I'm trying to meditate on the goodness, you know.
But it is an interesting question. I mean, there are a lot of artists who seem more fueled by the trauma, the pain, the suffering. Do you think you're one of those artists?
I think I'm more interested in. I'm just disillusioned and disenchanted by a lot. Like I just don't believe in a lot of stuff. Like I just don't. And so I think I write from a place of I know what's really going on. Yeah, like as opposed to being like, and now I don't know. I don't have the language for it, but I just think I'm disillusioned, and like I write from that place a lot. Yeah.
Other questions for Oompa right there? Yeah.
What is your writing process like?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, talk about that a little. We have a lot of writers here.
Oh, dope.
Right, who are writing for the first time or just at the very beginning of that process and trying to discover it for themselves. What's your process like?
First I write every day. Like I write every single day, and 80% of it is trash. 95% of it is trash. But I write every single day, even if I'm on a train, if like in between meetings and I'm like writing in my head and I just like voice note it out. Like I write every single day because I had a mentor who told me like if you wait for inspiration to strike you, you could wait until you're dead. Like it could strike you right before you're gone, and then what will you have done? You know, like what would be your like whatever. And so what I think we have to rely on when inspiration is not reliable is craft. So the more we pay attention to the craft of what we're trying to do and study the people that we love and the whatever, I think we'll be able to write good stuff that we like. Even when we're not inspired. And then in the connection you make between, once you write something that's good, you're like, oh, now I'm inspired to keep going. So sometimes you draw it out of the ditch. You draw the inspiration to you. And so I write every day. And a lot of times when I'm writing poems, I think what I do is I like get everything out, because for me it's like a release, and then I try to shape it. Like I get all the clay and then I shave it down to something that looks relatively like what I want, and then just continue to fine tune. Whereas for rap, I think because the confines feel so much smaller than in spoken word or slam poetry, like they feel much tighter. I think I am just like, I try to be very precise with everything, because I think what I'm always doing in rap is telling a story, and I got like 28 years of life, so I'm like, how do I get that in 3 minutes? This particular idea in down to 3 minutes. So I'm very meticulous, and then I go back and I read the lines before it. So by the time I'm done with a verse, I know the whole verse, and by the time I'm done with the song, I know the whole song. So I'm not sure if that's, and I write in solitude when I'm writing poems and no music, and then when
Is
I'm
there one particular place where you like to write, or
I
time
like-
of day or evening or night?
I think it's like 2:00. Like just like 2:00. Like I'm like, the morning is done. I done warmed up my brain. I done sat here and procrastinated for an hour or two, and then suddenly I'm just like, now it's time, go. And it's weird when I'm in a library space like this, which I do like to write in. I like to be under a desk. Like, so if you see somebody, I'm on the floor under a desk usually. And I know it's weird. Sorry, librarians. That's me. And then when I'm in my room, it's kind of just like, when I'm writing poems, I feel like I just gotta be comfortable. And then I could feel like I could write raps anywhere, just about. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you for that question.
Maybe one more question here. Anybody?
I did hug Beyonce.
Good question. You mentioned like how your performance and your art, you like the connection with other humans, but you have such a like strong, powerful voice. Do you ever feel like that you're ready to lead, like to I don't know.
Ready to lead?
Like, ready to like lead, be a leader, and like with
Lead.
your voice.
Oh,
I
yeah.
want to take you to that
Yeah,
higher like level to lead and have people follow.
I like to think that like I like to think I do like I'm doing that in my own way of kind of just like I do, like I'm noticing like how much the idea of community means to me, and how bringing different nuanced voices to the table is important to me. And so I like try to do that in my own way, and like, I've in my music I like have a band of people I hired, and like people I grew up with, like who needs an extra push, are like my merch managers and like my roadies and stuff like that. And so like I think what I'm interested in is just continuing to build a bridge between what I have access to now and what I didn't before, and all those people have important things to add to the conversation. And so like in this way I hope to keep building up that web, so that like everybody's with me, everybody, yeah, we got the community. But I don't know that I'm like trying to like be it. No, I don't. Yeah. I don't know that. That's a little intimidating. Yeah. Yeah.
Perhaps if you move another human being, that is
That-
a form of leadership.
That's what I mean. Is that's what I want to do. Is people to believe in me and what I do enough to be like, let's do it together. Like let's do something. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but that's exactly it. Yeah.
Did I see one?
Thank you for your question.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say, do you sing like regularly? Because when you were singing, you have a great voice.
Wow, thank you. No, I usually have singers with me. I am very, very nervous about my singing voice. My whole life I have secretly wanted to be Beyonce, but like not even Sierra though. But yeah, I'm very nervous about it. I like to sing. I love singing, and if I could do it well, I'd do it. I wouldn't even speak words. I would just sing. But I'm very shy about my voice. Thank you for that compliment.
He was performing with a guitar player yesterday, but he had a scheduling conflict today.
Yeah.
Okay, so I do want to leave enough time aside for anybody who wants to meet Oompa personally, to give them that opportunity before the next show begins at 11 a.m. Okay, so everybody, let's give Oompa a round of applause.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everybody.